chers jeunes compatriotes,
My dear young
la
compatriots,
célébration de cette 60e
the
édition
celebration of this
de la Fête de la
60th
Jeunesse
edition of the
montre
National Youth Day
l'agréable opportunité
is once more
de
a
m'adresser
welcome opportunity for me to address you
problématiques nombreuses.
on the many issues that concern you.
Elles ont trait, je le sais, à votre présent,
I am aware
mais aussi
that these issues
à
relate
votre avenir.
to your current situation, but also and above all to your future.
Vos frustrations,
They concern your difficulties, frustrations, fears, and worries.
également vos espoirs,
They also relate
vos attentes.
to your hopes, expectations, and legitimate aspirations.
Mes chers jeunes compatriotes,
My dear young compatriots,
qui vous préoccupent,
I am fully aware of your concerns,
je les
all
connais
the more so because,
que sous mon autorité,
under my authority,
pouvoir public déploie
the government is making tireless and commendable efforts to seek appropriate solutions to them.
à cela rien d'étonnant.
This comes as no surprise. I have never stopped and will never stop caring about you.
Mes chers jeunes compatriotes,
My dear young
à
compatriots,
vous ce soir, quelques mois
as I address you this evening,
après l'élection,
just a few months after my re-election as President of the Republic,
vous exprimer
I wish to express my deep satisfaction for the role you played in this election
et surtout
and, above all, to thank you most sincerely for your invaluable support, without which none of this would have been possible.
j'en suis conscient. Ce qui
I am aware
est déterminant
that the key element in this particularly hard-fought election was undoubtedly the support of a large majority of young people for the vision for society, as well as your appreciation
j'ai présenté.
of the track record
C'est également, je le
I
pense,
presented.
bien sincèrement,
I am also sincerely
dont vous ne cessez
believing that it reflects the trust and loyalty you have consistently shown me since I assumed office at the helm of our country. For this, I am deeply grateful.
lors de ma prestation.
My dear young compatriots,
J'ai pris un engagement
when taking the oath of office, I made a solemn commitment before you and before the entire nation
à l'avènement d'un Cameroun
to devote all my energies for the advent of a stable, united, and prosperous Cameroon.
J'entends l'honorer
I intend to honor this commitment regardless of the difficulties and obstacles arising from an ever-increasingly challenging international environment.
que nous parviendrons
I am convinced that we will succeed in achieving this objective together, thanks to my unwavering determination, your courage, and your multiple talents.
Mes chers jeunes compatriotes,
My dear young compatriots,
je sais que
I am aware that some of you are at a loss
désemparés
when you encounter difficulties in finding a job or achieving your goals.
à réaliser leurs projets. Ils sont
This
déjà
prompts you
à douter de la
to doubt the future
et tenter de
and to give up on your dreams
renoncer à leur
or embark on some
de se lancer
dangerous venture.
de quelle aventure périlleuse. Cela ne saurait en
This can in no way be the solution.
Je les encourage,
I encourage them to rather persevere.
je les encourage
I encourage them to continue to trust their abilities. I encourage them to continue to be enterprising and forge ahead, no matter the difficulties and obstacles. This is the key to success. My dear young compatriots, I promised you in my recent speeches that your integration into the labor market would be one of the main priorities of this 7-year term. That is the object of the Special Youth Employment Promotion Plan that I recently announced. The government has already prepared related incentive measures. The plan aims to foster genuine synergy between the state, the private sector, and the wider society to promote job creation for young people. In this regard, I would like to mention, among other things, tax exemptions granted to businesses that recruit young graduates, the allocation of 50 billion CFA francs provided for in the finance law to promote youth entrepreneurship, the increase in subsidies to the National Employment Fund, and measures taken to integrate young people into state-financed labor-intensive works. All these efforts, my dear young compatriots, mark the start of implementation of the commitments I made recently to you. My dear young compatriots, under my authority, the government will continue to allocate substantial resources to strengthen and improve the education system. My objective is to offer as many of you as possible the opportunity to access quality training that will enable you not only to find jobs, but also to create them. As you are aware, recruitment in the public sector or enterprises cannot alone fully resolve the thorny issue of youth unemployment. That is why I will continue to encourage youth entrepreneurship and ensure that young people receive appropriate government support to that end. Despite the challenging context, I am pleased to note that many of you are excelling in the agricultural, processing, construction, services, and digital sectors, where you start up businesses and create jobs each day. With each passing day, you distinguish yourselves with boldness and competence in all areas of national life. In this regard, I would like to commend your invaluable contribution within our defense and security forces to ensuring our common protection. I would like to pay tribute to all of you, young people in the informal sector, who have chosen to steer clear of criminal and delinquent activities and struggle daily to feed your families. Note that, in my view, there is no such thing as odd job, and there will never be. You all play an essential role in the building and progress of our beloved and great country. That is why I will ensure that an increasing number of you, women like men, are gradually entrusted with high responsibilities in the management of public affairs. Various opportunities come to my mind in this regard, including the upcoming reshuffle of managers of state corporations, the formation of the next government, which I know is eagerly awaited, as well as the organization of legislative and municipal elections, though the time frame for the elections may require a minor adjustment due to pressing constraints in compliance with the relevant provisions of our laws, especially the Constitution. My dear young compatriots, I would also like to remind you this evening that besides the rights to have you also name responsibilities towards your parents and the national community, I wish to appeal especially to your sense of responsibility. The future of our beloved and great country, Cameroon, lies in your hands. You must be aware of this. You should therefore resolutely shun the excesses in which some of you have unfortunately drifted in recent times, including delinquency, alcohol abuse, drug use, immoral behavior, the excessive and abusive use of social media, etc. I also urge your parents and educators to act responsibly. They must fully assume their responsibility towards you and refrain from tolerating, facilitating, or encouraging your deviant behavior. In this regard, I have issued firm instructions to the relevant authorities to strengthen the protection of young girls in schools, families, and workplaces, as they are too often victims of all kinds of harassment and abuse. My dear young compatriots, I wish to reaffirm my commitment to spare no effort in creating the most conducive conditions for your development. This underpins the instructions I have issued to the government to act more effectively. It is the objective of the reforms I intend to implement soon to improve the functioning of the state. It is also the objective of the relentless fight I intend to wage against corruption and the embezzlement of public funds. My dear young compatriots, as you prepare to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the National Day dedicated to you, I wish to commend the maturity you have consistently demonstrated in all circumstances. Once again, I commend your decisive contribution to building our great and beautiful nation. I urge you to continue working to preserve our precious achievements, namely peace, national unity, and stability of our institutions. Happy Youth Day to you all. Long live Cameroon.
Vive le Cameroun.